Now then, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be resurrecting the M3. It's been in the barn for about 3 years now, just shy of 3 years it's been in here. Can you tell? You can't really tell, can you? You can't really tell. But I want to get this back out to the Nürburgring this year, if I can, and drive right fast. Maybe go right fast. The plans on this video is we're just going to get the car back to being a car again. I've got a few packages here. I've got some new rear brake pads because I stole the ones that are in it for the black car. That's now sold. We've got a new battery from Deadweight. This is a 200 T200 Touge. That sounds wrong, but this is not actually recommended for the M3, but because we are super lightweight and we don't have much ancillaries, because we don't have much accessories is probably the right word that starts with A, inside the car. All we're really using this for is to start the engine. We've still got the OEM heaters and hopefully the aircon works. Probably not, but I've tried to keep the aircon, but the car is pretty stripped. It's under 1,300 kilograms now, which is pretty good for one of these. And the final piece of the puzzle, hopefully, is a center console from a car that didn't have an armrest from the factory, which means that we can hopefully have a nice finished interior. So this video, we're going to try and finish the interior, get it back together, get it back on the ground, a car. We're going to make it a car again, right? And then in the next videos, the future plans, we're just going to do what we did on the rear. So the car's had a full rear end refresh with spherical bushes and solid aluminium solid bushes for the subframe, and there's a lot of good stuff going on in the rear, but the front's not been touched. So we want to do the same kind of principles to the front suspension. We're also going to improve the cooling a little bit as well, a bigger oil cooler. I've got my eye on I've got my eye on an oil cooler that I think will make a big difference. And then we'll go over the front end as well and see if there's anything else. But that's the introduction, so let's get started. I think we'll put these rear brakes in first, and then hopefully we can get the car on the ground, wiggle it out here a little bit, and have a look at the interior, because there's no interior. There's stuff in there, but it's not, we need an interior, right? So let's do that. Oh yeah, classic t-shirt for the occasion. I had these on my old shop back in the day, and about 5 people bought them, so exclusive. I was one of them, so there's 4 of us out there. Right, these brakes, it's not really a nice surface for some new brake pads, is it? Maybe we should more effort than what it's worth, maybe. I guess they'll clean up a bit of oxidization, right? Never hurt anyone. My calipers are starting to rust too, that's nice. So I rebuilt these calipers as well, which was the first time doing so we don't know if they're going to hold pressure, hopefully. New clips. So a bit like the Integra and more recently the JZX, we're going to try and not get stuck in the process of wanting to make things better while we're here. Johnny from Airy Motorsport gave me a lift home. He said be wary of the while you're here jobs, specifically about the Integra, but for all the cars, because I want cars to be cars again. It's not good having the cars just sat about, right? It's like this, it's not good, is it? I will clean up the discs. They're brand new pads. I will clean up the discs. Right, the reason the damper's off, or the damper was off, I was stealing these spring pads for the black car, which it turns out it already had. I just couldn't see them. I was doing a blind, so. And I think I want those pads in, or do I? Less ride height, but more noise. Ride height or noise? I guess it'll help the spring life as well. We'll put it in for now, and then if we don't like it, we'll take it out. This car is about performance, not the other thing. I wasn't going to bother, but it's quite bad, isn't it? If you're concerned about this making the disc uneven, I did it before with one of the Integra discs, the Civic, I put on the Civic, and we measured the run out and it was fine, so. The question is that leaving stuff on? I don't know, I don't think so. So they're paint remover discs, right? They're not meant to do metal. Argue about it if you want. And they're alloy jaws. I thought of everything. You don't have to worry about me anymore. And that's PPE. You don't have to worry about me anymore. Maybe you should do a little bit of worrying. That's guaranteed to never strip now. Right, that's one side done. I'll do the other side and then we'll get the car on the floor and do the interior. All right, I've done the other side. Just need to put a wheel on now and then we can get the car on the floor for the first time in a while. Well, about 6 months maybe. That's a while, isn't it? Been talking a lot lately, past few days. I've been talking to people about square tyre setups. So that's where the front wheel and the back wheel match, right? Tyre size and wheel. I don't think it's as fast as a staggered. I don't think there's a case, I don't think, for any car to be like that. Personally, but what do I know? But with that said, I would like to test it more because there's a lot of benefits when it comes to things like just managing the car, right? You've got one spare wheel. That's pretty nice to have. And then you can manage the tyres like left to right, front to back and stuff like that. So there's benefits there, but I think ultimately it's compromised on a racetrack. I think people who think it's faster, I think they're focusing on their corner entry speed rather than their corner exit speed or speed through the corner or any of the other speeds. Personally, I think that's why they think it's faster. I mean, I've tried it, right? I was just thinking there, because like, this car is currently on a square setup. It wasn't before, but I just mean that's the wheels that are on it, right? I've got a set of 5 of them, and they're all the same. This would be a good indication of ride height, whether or not it's too high or too low. Whether or not we need to get another jack to get the car off of the one that I just jacked it up on. Halfords sell these, by the way. Really good for BMWs on them, on the pads. You know, no forks. See the difference? Okay, that's a very big bonus to help me working on the car, being able to do that. And the ride height's not terrible, it just, I would prefer it a bit lower than that. It's all right, isn't it? Being able to jack the car up's nice. Anyway, let's wiggle it out. Ideally, we should have that here and that there. So maybe, I'm a bit dusty to be climbing in such a beautiful car, but let's just wiggle it out for now. So this is what we're working with. All right, first job, let's get a battery in it. All right, I'm just trying to re-familiarise myself with what's going on down here. So I relocated the big fuse down here, right? We've got 2 cables coming out of the cut-off switch, which you can't see. So that guy goes into there. And that must go to the battery, and the other one must go up through the loom back into the cut-off switch, I'm guessing. And then we've got an earth here, but nowhere to mount it to. What was I using for an earth? What was I using for an earth? A grounding point. Oh, it was the frame, right? It was the frame for the, it was that, which goes into the frame of the dashboard. Right, we should just be able to put a battery on it now and start it. All right, that battery's brand new out of the box. Maybe I should have charged it first. It's been sat around for a few months, but let's see what happens. That's the kill switch on. I mean, it's not been started for a very long time, but it'd be rude not to, right? Right, I've pulled the fuel pump fuse, but it might have already primed because we did the ignition. But it did. It's oh, whatever, we'll just put the fuel pump in. I'm pretty sure we got this in a state before where there was no warning lights, but now we've got all of them. Voltage is 13, nearly 14 volts. Well, the battery light is on. Could hear a chattering. Could hear a chatter, and it's the. We're using a light and flywheel now with a clutch which isn't spring loaded, which I was a little bit concerned about. But we'll see how it gets on. Hopefully it doesn't explode. But it's going to be noisier anyway. Got way more like driveline noise now. There's nothing dampening the gears or any of the transmission because the dual mash flywheel's gone. Key doesn't work anymore. Oh, I got rid of the central locking, didn't I? Yes. All right, skip forward a couple of days. I've booked this car in for its MOT on Thursday evening. Today's Monday, so we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings to get it ready for test, and then I'm actually off on Friday, so we've got all day on Friday. Nice little motivation to get us somewhere near. What do we need for MOT? Well, we need an exhaust, so we're going to have to put the standard back box back on. I've got some new gaskets over there, hopefully that'll be a nice easy job. What else do we need? An interior, seat belts, hopefully no warning lights. We had some warning lights on here the other day when I started it up. Yeah, we need to do stuff, right? Anyway, tonight, hopefully by tonight we can have an interior. So, I'll tell you what, I'll roll it forwards a little bit, right? Hang on. Oh, look at that there. Wow, what a vehicle. Easily does it. Okay, so we need an interior. We currently don't really have one. Well, we have a lot of the things, actually. We have a lot of the things, but, you know, a seat and some seat belts would be better too. We need to finish off the wiring for the kill switch. We need to install the battery and secure it properly. We're going to install this center console here, and the cage, the harness bar cage needs to go back in as well. That's a problem that I need to do something about. Maybe not today, but at least let's try and de-rust it a little bit. I'm going to file it and try and put some, well, I'm going to put some tape over it. That's very nearly a perfect circle. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Why don't we just get some grommet? Why don't we just put some Wallace and grommet in there for now? It's not terrible, right? It's not great, but it's not terrible. So those were drain holes that were stuck underneath the original sound editing, which water got trapped in. This is very common on E46s to have problems there. They used to have little grommets in, and you know, water sits in and just rots them out a little bit, right? It's not terrible though, it's not the end of the world. The only terrible thing that I'm noticing in this video is that my camera's white balance keeps making everything very yellow, like a episode of that cartoon Family Guy. Now I'm trying to fix it in post, but yeah, I'll try and stop this happening in the future, although this was 3 months ago. So yeah, Wingardium Leviosa. Bin, bin, harnesses. I might put the Sabelt 6-point out of the JZX. Yeah, that's a good idea. So this roll cage, nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, it's very much a track day roll cage because I just want to have harnesses, right? It's not so much I want to roll the car over and have improved safety. Side skirt. Did I really weigh the car without this in it and think I had a sub 1300 kilo car? What a silly boy. Alright, it's time to put this half cage, roll cage, harness bar. It's time to put the thing back in the car. So the way this is mounted, right, I've got these very nice, probably should have thought about, we can't stop and make things nice. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. So they go on the bottom of the car, I think, and these are just kind of trying to spread the load a little bit. I mean, even if you did roll over the car so much that that got crushed, it might help a little bit, but it's obviously not going to be strong. It's not going to be as part of the chassis like a real roll cage would be, like a proper welded in with boxes and stuff would be. Like was in the black M3, that was good and strong, right? But it'll be fine. It's somewhere to mount the harnesses, right? Anyway, these bolts, the bolts that I'm using to attach the cage to the car even are stronger than the floor probably, but if it all ties together, then it might do a little bit, who knows. I'm not the judging type, you know. I'm down here, by the way. I cleaned it, don't worry about that. I'm just gonna install this now. So it's very clean. I'm just gonna install it now. Installed. Right, I probably should have filmed more of putting that in because it was really simple. All of my old dodgy bolt holes just lined up. Just worked and yeah, one sec. Hello?
This is the YouTube police. You're not doing things properly.
Right.
You need to do things, make things much properly than this.
Did you tell him?
There is no excuse for your behaviour.
Yeah, but you told him though, didn't you? I mean, obviously it'd be nice to have it all done nice, but at the same time, you know, it's time's ticking, isn't it?
Only the best is expect.
Yeah.
That roll cage will not help you if you do a big
Well, it's probably not. I need somewhere to mount the GoPros though as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
But this is not the best way.
Well, it's just YouTube, isn't it? Yeah.
But there are other people who are doing things much better than you, such as me.
All right then.
And everyone else.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
You look like bloody dickhead, mate.
Ciao. Yeah, so I got the cage in, and yeah, everything just lined up as it should do, because I only took it out, you know, recently. Well, I only took it out this year, I think, right? Did we? When did we take it out? About a year ago. No, actually, yeah, it was about a year ago we took it out. Luckily for us, on this side, this big stupid plate that I put on the bottom covers up this hole on this side. This side not so lucky, but it's a nice circle, so I'm hoping I'm just going to be able to put a bung in it. I best measure it and order a bung, eh? That would be a good idea, yes. But the reason I put this in first was so that we can now do the rest of the interior without battering it to death. So yeah, let's do the center console. You know, this would have been a really nice camera angle if someone hadn't just put a big fucking bar in the way. But yeah, you can see what I'm doing, can't you? Hello, it's me, Dan. I'm from the channel Danny DC2. I make videos about cars and bars. Tonight we're going to a bar in Wakefield. So there's a few wires kicking about. I don't really know what they do. This one has an end on it. Not sure what it does though. I think we should start with mounting the battery and then work back from there. Once the battery cut-off switch panel's in, then we can build the top layer and work down, and then it'll all be lovely jubbly towards the end. Ka-ching, ka-ching. In which case, you might as well sit there and I'll get a little light. Comfort. I actually had a little bit of trouble the other day getting the battery connected up, so I bought some things to try. Well, I've got some 90-degree copper tube terminals, right? These are what you use to connect battery cable to stuff. So let's start up here, because we might have to remake some of these wires, cables. So we're not wiring this up to be race car cut-off switch, so we're not going to use this to try and kill the car when it's running or anything like that. We do have the potential to do that in the future on these poles on the back, but for now we're just using this as a battery cut-off switch, right? So we have those two being friends, so they're getting no power from the battery until we flick this switch, because on the other pole is the feed to the battery, right? So this is carbon fibre, right? So it doesn't matter which side these go on, it doesn't matter, as long as, well, it matters later, but it doesn't matter for now. So for whatever reason, that guy there doesn't like being told what to do. To put this 90-degree on so that it can come off and fire straight out. It doesn't matter if these two cross swords, because they're going to be talking to each other anyway, and this one's only going to the starter motor anyway, right? It's just giving power to the starter motor when it needs it. This is factory BMW cable, so we like OEM here, you know. So that tension there, we don't want it because that's pressure. We don't want these joints, we don't want the switch, we don't want the crimping to fail, right? Right, for the next cable then we need to, before we tighten all that down, we need to work out what we're going to do with the battery. Right, all the battery clamps mounts that I have are slightly not right, but I just remembered I did actually have one of those batteries in the Civic briefly. We had to take it out because the car was too light for the class. That's good for Recaro seats, that noise. Bollocks. That's what I didn't want to happen. The ballast plate's in the way. I'm having to try and take it out and not drop things on the Integra. Might have to take the sticker off, but that fits really well. Charlie Red Top. Sorry, Integra. Did you see that? Bastard, dropped a bolt on it. That were always going to happen, I guess. V for victory. Oh. Oh no, I don't want to come off. Well, I'm just done with putting the rib nuts in for the battery holder and got a little bit scared drilling through, but luckily it didn't hit anything too interesting. Nah, we're all good. At the bottom it's double skinned, so we're going to hope this is going to work. Obviously I'm waiting for the door to fall on me and hurt me, that's why I put the camera back on. It hasn't happened yet. This is dangerous. I'm going to get chopped by the door. Okay, that works. Snap the drill bit. I think I was putting too much sideways pressure on because of the funny angle. Now I must inspect to see if I've hit any wires. Pretty sure I haven't, but no, miles away. Right, we're just going to put some foam just behind the battery, just to give it a little bit of support, right, while it's in the thingamajiggy. So I'm not sure which way I'm going to mount it yet. We're about to decide that now. So the earth point's on this side. This bottom corner just sticks into the car a little bit too much. Just going to take that off. Yeah, definitely props to the Valium end anyway, because this battery, so obviously it's not sold for this, they designed it for their battery, but it's going to work very well for our battery as well. This is what was on the egg. Credit where credit is due. So if we have it that way, we might get into trouble with the clamp actually, so we might have to do it the other way, which will just make it a bit more difficult to get the power cable on, but once it's on, right? All right, welcome back again. Look at this relaxed fit, they call it. Trying out, it should be on the store by the time you're watching this. I was up here last night, but I wasn't feeling 100%, so I didn't end up doing any videoing, but I got things pretty much there. There's just a few things left to do. So the battery is all wired in and functional now. I'm not really happy with this one wire here, but I ran out of the negative lead. I ran out of cables, and then I got another problem last night where, I don't know if anyone remembers my E46 M3 sale video, but I ended up swapping some parts between that car and this car, and yeah, I've got a hole there which would be a cigarette lighter socket, but it's a hole, so we've got a little USB thing to wire into there. And also I got another problem last night where I got this non-handbrake center console, so you know it's nice to have a center console with a cup holders and a little bit more storage. Obviously the car's gutted out, right, so a little bit more storage will be greatly received, but the problem I'm having is the way this mounts. There should be a little bracket under there, which for one I can't find, or for two maybe I never had, because this was a handbrake, this was a armrest car, right, and it has this extra little thing here, right, which like this would never fit on there, and this part is the same part number on all of the vehicles from what I can tell, so I need to figure out the difference. Maybe I just cut that off at the end. The handbrake's mounted here, but surely it needs something at the rear as well to hold it tight. I don't know. I need to figure that out anyway. But yeah, let's get the interior back together. The first step, we're going to wire in this little USB. It's got a little voltmeter on it as well. You know the sort, right? Also, we're making good progress with the interior, but as you can see, I'm into a bit of a sticky situation. But the seat is in, bolted down, all nice. Got the harnesses all set up. Ended up using the Sabelt ones, Sabelt ones that I bought in Japan when I had that car, and just because they were laying around really. And yeah, they're quite nice. I wasn't going to use this seat, but we'll see how we get on. I just threw it in because I knew it would fit. Not really done much else in that time, but I've just been trying to get the steering wheel back off now for about half an hour, man. It's such a pain. On the E46, there's two clips behind, and you have a hole to put a screwdriver in, but what I did was I tried to not connect the airbag, even though the ECU and everything's out of the way. I just thought I'll just leave the connections there, and they must have got fucking old, you know. Basically the horn would work, but only if you like really fucking gave it one of those, right? So I'm just trying to get the airbag back out now, and yeah, I figured it was a good time for an update. This screwdriver on the left's just trying to stop it clipping back in, while screwdriver on the right, we're having a bad time. Yeah, there's no real good way of doing this. Some people on YouTube just pop a screwdriver in and just pop these bastards out, but I can't do it, man. Pain in the ass. Oh, I've got a fault with the car as well. I'm not sure what it is yet, but when the car's live, all of the lights go on. So yeah, I can't actually turn the lights off for some reason. I don't think this was a problem before. It definitely was a problem the other night when I had it running, so I've done something clearly, but I'll figure it out. Can't even show you how to do it. You're gonna have to YouTube it. I got rid of the airbag stuff. Oh, no, I need that. So I just, remember we were on a de-pinning mission before? Well, I did it again. That's all we need for the horn to work. Hopefully now the steering wheel thing fits back in nice. Nice. Okay, the lights have fixed themselves. It's probably nothing to worry about. Gonna wash it tomorrow. It's getting late now, it's nearly 11, but we're gonna get the car on the ramp now, get the interior tidied up, get the exhaust back on, and then I'd rather do a lot tonight and a little tomorrow, yeah? Let's do that. Oh yeah, the little 40 quid Parkside Hoover seems pretty good. Of course, I've got a 80 euro battery in it, but you don't need to worry about that. I mean, yeah, nice to have a portable Hoover. Got a collection now, look. All right, interior's nearly done. Just a few bits, but I'm about to drive the car for the first time in nearly 3 years. Fuel in it. Oh yeah, I can't really see where I'm going. I guess that'll help a bit. I don't like the kick plate thing that I've got. Normally with cars I'm worried about making them dusty, but in this car it's the other way around. To be clear, I don't want to put this back on, but needs must at the moment. Right, I got some new gaskets, right? Because I must have thrown away the old ones. This one is BMW. This one's from a Fiat Ducato. Easy now. This was £5. So we're going to be reusing these fancy mounts as well, the clamps. These are needs must if you've got an M3 because they crack. When it goes into the back box, the pipe cracks. It's all very sad. I'm excited about this because, if anything, I have too many M8 nuts, so I get to use some. So one of the pipes you have to slide into the other, male to female. The other ones just butt up against each other. A lot of corrosion on these threads, on these studs. This would be really sad. I have to take it off again and clean these threads up. Can't get the nuts started. What did I forget to do? Huh. Fuck. So one side I've tapered in for the gasket to sit. I know you can't really see that, but it's fiddly. I need one of those things that can push things out. So I can push this pipe over. Yeah, I didn't really do a great job of explaining what I was doing here. It was getting quite late and I think I was getting a bit annoyed. Now, I remember actually I was getting very annoyed and I kept doing silly stuff like not putting the clamps on right and yeah, those rusty threads that were on the hanger mounting for the exhaust, I ended up just sending it with the gun. I think it was alright. Yeah. But yeah, I'm fiddling. It's a messy, annoying job. This yeah, it's not fun. But anyway, let's start the car up and see if it's now nice and quiet. No leaks! Yeah! Right, we have an exhaust, very nice. It's just about B1. Look at that, a clock check. Oh look, we can do the new watch clock. What the hell? I'm not doing any activities. Alright, so hopefully everything else that I don't remember doing on this throughout the years is going to be okay. And we can drive it tomorrow and clean it. Maybe. Give it a little clean tomorrow. Right, it's now the day of the MOT test and we've got a little bit of assistance again today. I know, what's going on lately? Well, Sam is here. You might remember Sam from a long time ago. He's brought us a little present for the Civic, which we'll be able to see in a moment, but Sam's just helping me reassemble some of the things in the engine bay now, such as the cabin filter and the associated parts around there. Seem to remember we had an issue with something. I can't remember what it was. Something wasn't right, but I guess it wasn't that important or else I would have videoed it. Sam's also going to help us secure the roll cage in a moment, and yes, we're going to clean it. I'm also getting the car on my alignment tables so that I can secure the rear suspension, nip it all up right, and also do a little wheel alignment. I wasn't going crazy, I just, didn't want to ruin the tyres on the way to the test, because all of the rear suspension, since the car's been off the road, everything at the back is new. But anyway, what's in the back of that caddy van? Anyway, more on that to come in the future. Just need to get the car aligned now. We've already secured the roll cage. Just need to make sure the wheels are pointing in the right direction, and then we can give it a wash and get to the MOT centre, because I was running a little bit late. I almost missed the appointment. I didn't even have a chance to test drive the car. More about that to come, right? The test drive is on our way to the centre of inspection, right? Yeah, fingers crossed. I know this has probably not been the most interesting M3 video, but we are about to leave the barn now for the first time in 3 years, so surely that's worth a like. Alright, MOT time. Thanks, Sam. Cheers. So as soon as I left the barn, I had a lot of warning lights still on the car, which I'd not really attended to. I thought most of them would go away. I've had this issue before where the traction control computer DSC thing on the M3 needs you to go at least 20 kilometers an hour before it can start detecting a signal, and then usually all the warning lights go out. But no, not this time. We also had warning lights for bulbs and the washer fluid level. But at least the battery light had gone out, so the alternator battery situation seems okay. This wasn't even the main concern though, because my transmission was making all sorts of horrible noises. I've driven plenty of cars converted to single mass flywheel before, but this was something else. The camera really doesn't do justice just how bad it was.
Yeah, they've gone out now when you turn the headlights on. When you turn the headlights on, it goes out on the side. Indicator works. That's weird.
So the end result was a fail, an MOT fail. Oh, it's been so long since I had a fail, but this was justified. Alright, we have one MOT failed vehicle. Well, that was always going to happen, right? So as soon as I set off, I noticed the speedo wasn't working. If the speedo doesn't work, then not a lot works. What else failed? No washers. I remember that. I drilled through the washer bottle when I was fitting that splitter. Need to fix that. And also the side lights didn't work at all. It did something weird actually. I tried to video it in the shop, but what's all that about? Maybe it's more indicative of a wiring fault than anything else, but it's gone all USDMs. USDMs, that's the side lights on. Have I done that? Have I? No, I don't think I did. Small problems, we can fix that. So what was more concerning for me was the transmission. So if you forget, because I had a little bit, so we've gone to a single mass flywheel, and we've now got a E46 M5 clutch, I think, disc, and there's no springs in the disc, and obviously there's no rubber in the flywheel anymore. And then we've mounted the gearbox using solid aluminium, solid mounted the gearbox, and wow, hopefully it's just NVH. Hopefully it's just NVH, right? Noise, vibration, harshness, I think is the thing, right? God, it sounds like it's broken. It sounds like way worse than what my MR2 felt at the Nürburgring when I retired that. I've never driven a car on the road before with that much kind of transmission noise. So awful. I mean, maybe it's just because nothing's getting dampened anymore. There's no, no springs in the clutch, no rubber in the flywheel, and there's no rubber on the gearbox mounts, right? So hopefully it's just a combination of those things and nothing's actually broken, because wow, yeah. Tell you what though, feels fast. Definitely feels fast. I was scared about it breaking and the flywheel flying out and killing me or something like that, but I gave it a little tickle in second gear a couple of times, and it lights up the rear wheels in second gear, no problem at all. no problem. If you put full throttle in second gear, it's spinning the wheels. So that's that's pretty cool, man. That's nice. But anyway, that's all from this video. So it's left the barn, first time in almost 3 years, and yeah, now we can work on the track day in 1 week's time, right? The track day in 1 week's time, which I'm going to try and make. But we've got a lot of stuff to do on the front end, so a lot of stuff to do on the front ends. We've got to basically rebuild the front end, so I don't think a week's enough to do all that, but we've got bigger oil coolers coming hopefully today or tomorrow, and there's going to be lots of cool stuff. But also we need to fix, obviously, finish the interior, fix the MOT problems, and it also seems like the rear brakes are sticking, whether it's the handbrake or the caliper, but the rear brakes are sticking for sure. There's something going on. But yeah, anyway, that's all from this one then. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.